Chris Zammit presents The Super Trawler, Sustainable or Mistake?
Go.
Fishing sustainability is a major concern that needs to be addressed. The issue at hand is the introduction of the Magirus Super Trawler, a Dutch-owned trawling vessel that was scheduled to fish Australian waters near the end of August 2012. This is an enormous ship capable of catching over 300 tons of fish a day. Now, with such a sensitive and increasingly threatened fish supply, the question is, what effect would trawling at this level have on the marine life in Australian waters? Through history, trawling has not been such a large sustainability issue, most likely due to the size of the industry and the ships used. But now, fish stocks are at an all-time low around the world due to the increasing demand and efficiency of trawling vessels. By the introduction of such a large trawler with more efficient methods, there is concern by many different political and recreational groups that this enormous vessel will cause a major impact on fisheries around Australia. Seafish Tasmania has been allowed a quota of 18,000 tonnes of jack mackerel and redbait to be caught by the Magirus Super Trawler, which is about 5% of the total fisheries stock. This is a major concern to Greenpeace and other local Tasmanian fisheries, as these fish are the basic food source for larger recreational and more profitable fish species. Although based in Tasmania, the Magirus will cover an area ranging from Western Australia down to the southern waters of Australia and up to the top end of New South Wales. It is over half the size of the Titanic, and its net is 600 metres long by 200 metres wide, which could hypothetically catch the Titanic with room to spare. To understand more about the concerns, an interview with Environmental Minister Tony Burke was undertaken. Mr. Burke, what are your thoughts on the trawler known as Magirus?
I am very concerned.
What are you concerned about, Mr. Burke?
I am concerned that this vessel could in fact empty certain sections of Australian waters of its bait fish, which are the target species of the Magirus and known sources of food supply for larger fish such as bluefin tuna.
Are you also concerned about the effects on the marine environment?
Yes, of course this is of interest to the Environmental Party as well.
Although his concerns are genuine and have good reason, credible sources show that trawling has known negatives but equally known positives to marine environments, therefore adding to the controversy of the ship's introduction.
Dr. Quiros, I hear you have studied the effects of trawling on marine environments. What were your conclusions to your investigations? My research team and I established that bottom trawling causes great disturbances to muddy bottom benthic habitats, but not sandy ones. These disturbances were found to decrease water quality, ecosystem productivity, and the health status of most fish.
Dr. Quiros' work shows negative impacts of bottom trawling and leads on to other credible sources that have shown that trawling causes an increase of silicate from sediment and also an increase of inorganic nitrogen floating in the water. This causes the water to be less nutrient-rich, resulting in a decrease in food supply for base organisms and in turn ecosystem functions. Although this evidence seems logical, other reliable sources have counter-arguments.
Dr. Dunes, is it right that your studies have shown positive outcomes from trawling?
Yes, this is true. My research crew and I conducted an experiment that indicated trawling does cause disturbance, but this disturbance leads to a high rate in regeneration, which is followed by higher rates of ecosystem processes known as productivity pulses.
His work is further supported by other dependable evidence that has revealed that trawling causes immediate increase in organic carbon in the water from an uplift of deeper levels of areas that are trawled. This would therefore increase food supply for organisms at the bottom of the food chain. The world's largest fishing vessel, the Annalise Elena, is currently stationed off the coast of British Columbia, Canada, and has the same target species as the Magirus. Mort Rosenblum of the Center of Public Integrity claims that due to the less strict fishing laws, this monstrous vessel has announced a free-for-all, diminishing fish stocks rapidly. Though this is a possibility, Australian fishing laws are quite strict, and a graph from the 2010 to 2011 fish stocks report shows an increase in the not overfished category, and a decrease in the overfished category. This must mean that fishing quotas and fisheries understanding can be trusted. But the process that should be undertaken is one that proves the Margira super trawler is not a threat rather than proving that it is. Until there is evidence that this enormous vessel will not be detrimental to Australian fish stocks and marine environments, it should not be allowed to operate within Australian waters.